And we're back.
Hey, honey. How's it going?
It's going.
So, you haven't seen any of the Harry Potter movies? Or...
That's not true.
Okay.
If I sound distant, it's because I'm laying down because I hurt.
Okay.
I saw 7.1.
Deathly Hallows Part 1?
Yes.
Okay.
In Germany. In English.
So it was the English version while you were in Germany?
Yes. My butt was on German soil.
Well, hopefully it was in a German theater seat.
On German soil.
Okay. On German land.
On German
okay.
land.
So...
That came out it was in the theater the Thanksgiving before you and I became a couple.
So, Thanksgiving 2010.
Yes.
Okay. That's what I needed to hear. Have you seen any of the others?
Nope.
Okay.
I thought I saw this one.
Okay. And you haven't read the books?
No.
All right.
Nor am I willing to, which I'm assuming makes other people mad, but I don't really care.
What? Like
that time I said I hadn't read the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, but I own the radio play, and I own the BBC miniseries, and I own the most recent movie somehow, because I hadn't read the books. People tried to revoke my geek card, which I object to and have issues with.
Oh, you haven't read the book? You haven't heard the radio play that came first?
Yeah. And, hey, guess what? At least when it comes to Hitchhiker's Guide, they're all different, and Douglas had his fingers in all of them, so they're all legit.
Okay.
And I get the same backlash with the Harry Potter books.
Uh-huh.
In that, you should just try them. Well, no, this is a section of geekdom that I have little to no interest in.
They're broad appeal children's books.
Yes,
and children's books don't appeal to you at all, so it doesn't matter how broad the appeal is.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay, so I've seen the first 4 movies.
Okay.
But not in order.
Okay.
And I've read the first 3.5 books. I saw it out somewhere in the middle of Goblet of Fire.
One of the things that I will gladly say about this movie, though, regardless of my opinions on Harry Potter as a general thing, this particular movie, though it was 2.5 hours, really did not feel like a 2.5 hour movie. The pacing of this movie was really well done.
That's good.
Which I was a little worried about when I saw that it was 2 hours and 32 minutes.
Yeah. It's like, ooh.
Considering my attention spans these days.
Yeah.
Are severely lacking.
Well, I think, this was going up against or into theaters at the same time as the first Lord of the Rings trilogy. So, we're gonna sit through 3 hours of what is commonly perceived as classic British literature from the 20th century.
Yes. I do appreciate all the British actors, though.
Well, yeah.
They all make me happy.
There were quite a few. In fact, the reason I picked this movie this week was because we recently lost John Hurt.
I was expecting him to have a bigger role. Does he have a bigger role later, or was he only in this movie?
I think he was in another one, but I don't remember, and I've only seen the first 4.
Right.
Not in order. Which, that's important. It was important to know that I did not see them in order.
Yeah, well, I saw the first half of the last book.
And that was it?
And that's it.
Yeah. Going back to the John Hurt thing, I wanted to, find something that he was in and that would be good. But it seems like he's been in a lot of things, but kind of in bit parts here and there. I think The Skeleton Key came out 10 years ago, and at the beginning of that one, I saw that in the theater. And he played a a guy who had a stroke at the beginning of the movie, so he doesn't have a line to speak. And, spoilers, for that one, because you don't need to see it.
Oh.
He didn't have a stroke. His body was getting old, so he did some witchcraft magic shit that put his consciousness into the, like, family attorney's body.
Oh, weird.
Because this married couple have just been, like, jumping into fresh bodies for a couple hundred years.
Oh, okay, so that's sort of the premise of the whole thing.
Yeah, and it kind of gets revealed at the end.
Oh.
But...
And your other option...
My other option, well... The other option for today was going to be Contact, but I said...
No,
I gave you the option to pick 1997 or 2001.
No, the option before that.
It was 1984.
Which... we are currently living in, and I don't like V for Vendetta. I don't think it would have ended very well.
He was in V for Vendetta as well.
True facts.
As Big Brother.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, it's a little bit too dystopian for our podcast right now.
And the current state of the Union.
Yeah. Like, so you picked Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Kinda. I picked 2001.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a lot to say about the story itself.
Mm-hmm.
It was decent. It could have very easily been a standalone.
I mean, it was started as very clearly a series for children's books.
Yes.
So,
but the movie itself,
yeah. But I think, like, if you just do the 1 year, it's like, okay, if it goes well, people are going to want more.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't go well, you're going to have a small but vocal audience who wants more.
So was this sort of the start of the trend with the other young adult movies? Series of stuff, like that one movie with the chick.
Oh, the one with the chick.
I don't even know what that is.
Oh, you're talking about, I was about to say Mockingjay, Catching Fire. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
I don't.
Hunger Games.
Thank you.
That came to me. Hunger Games. I'm not certain, because I think... Just leave a little bit more dead air in there. Let me formulate these words. I think Stephenie Meyer was inspired by these books to write her Twilight books.
Okay.
And then, because the Twilight ones did so well, because these are really long kids' books, and the Twilight shit is like young adult stuff.
Maybe that's what I was...
So,
maybe I was desperately trying to forget that Twilight existed and just wanted to blame Harry Potter.
So I think maybe a bunch of people saw the Harry Potter books were really successful, and that kind of kicked off the young adult stuff.
Right.
Which is why we have awful things like the Twilight series, and things that aren't so awful like the Hunger Games series, which thankfully was only 3 books.
Right.
But, I mean, I've read one of them. It tells a pretty good story. And you've got other things like Divergent and all of the other things that are, like, geared towards young adults. So we kind of have a weird sort of sci-fi fantasy renaissance thanks to Harry Potter books.
And for that I appreciate. Mm-hmm. I appreciate that. And I definitely saw a change in our sci-fi convention demos.
Mm-hmm.
Demographics, sorry. With the release and start of the Harry Potter books, which was good to see.
Yeah, I think...
However...
Let me look up when this one...
I just... can't do it. And
it's just not your jam?
No, and the fanaticism that goes with it is a little bit much for me. I mean, how long has it been since the last movie? / book.
Deathly Hallows Part 2 came out in 2011.
So it's been 5 years and people are still sorting themselves on fucking Facebook?
Yeah.
I mean, really?
What? You're just mad because I sorted myself.
Oh, I didn't realize it was a freaking hat.
Yeah, it's a hat. Let me find it. Okay, so Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone came out in 1997. So 4 years later, this movie was made.
Okay.
4 years and 3 books later.
So did every book get made?
Philosopher's Stone, Chamber of Secrets, Prisoner of Azkaban, Goblet of Fire, Order of the Phoenix, Half-Blood Prince, and Deathly Hallows, yeah.
So every one of the books got made.
So 7 books became 8 movies.
Okay.
Which, I mean, I think when they said that they were going to split Deathly Hallows into 2 movies, back in, I don't know, 2010, that's when all of the other young adult ones like, oh, we can do that?
Yeah.
Like, great, we're getting Twilight 4, Part 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Oh, is that a thing that has to happen?
Apparently.
And
Apparently.
Hunger Games 3, Parts 1 and 2. Like, but, I mean...
But that's only if the story is so...
Yeah. I mean, like, these are dense books.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, like, when Goblet of Fire came out, when I was 14, 15, I probably had classmates who sat down and read the whole thing in one sitting. Like, that's a giant book.
And
like, thank you for being so invested in these characters in this series, but that's a giant book.
Well, and I was raised with the we don't care what you're reading as long as you're reading. Which is how I started reading romance novels, and I don't quite understand the appeal, even though I was reading them at 15.
The romance novels, you mean mommy porn?
Yeah. Which is, I think...
It's probably a term I should never use again.
The reason why I have issues with period pieces, like movies, is because of romance novels.
I could do it.
Which is a whole nother side story. But,
so in like 8 or 9 years when we watch 50 Shades of Grey...
Please don't.
Oh no, you meant romance movies, not weird abusive movies.
Right. I appreciate, because of the we don't care what you're reading as long as you're reading, I appreciate the Harry Potter books in that it got a whole section of a generation excited about reading and, looking forward to books. Which I think is kind of cool.
I'll tell you what I wasn't looking forward to in regards to Harry Potter. I was not looking forward to the midnight showing of Goblet of Fire that I saw.
Why?
Because I got dragged there by my girlfriend at the time. It's like, you're gonna see this. Like, I don't care. And I watched it and like, hey, isn't that the Doctor?
Oh, is that the one that David Tennant's
It's 4 a.m. I want to go to bed.
Because they're all super long?
Yeah. I think this was probably one of the shorter ones.
Oh, Jiminy
But,
Cricket.
yeah, I want to say Goblet of Fire was past 3 hours, because there's a bunch of stuff that happened.
I'm going to say I didn't hate this movie. I wouldn't mind watching the next movie.
That was the first one that I saw.
In that we could, watch a couple Harry Potters a year for the show, get all caught up, and then it definitely seems to be a movie that I will only need to watch once.
Yeah, I can see that.
I can't make a weekend marathon out of it, like we do with the Marvel movies.
Goblet of Fire was only 157 minutes.
That's a short one.
So 7 minutes longer than this. Or 5 minutes longer.
That's a short one?
Yeah. I thought it was longer than that.
See, it felt longer because you didn't want to be there.
True facts.
That can also affect. I did not go into this movie anticipating hating it.
Mm-hmm.
I really came into this movie anticipating,
And you were pleasantly surprised? Like, yeah, this was not bad.
No, I think my biggest compliment for this movie is that the pacing was really good.
Well, I think that they cast so many good and competent and well-cast people in this.
Yeah, the child actors are amazing.
Yeah, and they all grew up to be more or less functional.
So do they go more into Hufflepuff and Ravenclaw, or is it always Gryffindor versus Slytherin?
I'm pretty much sure it's always Gryffindor v Slytherin.
Then why did they, and by they I mean she, why did she bother with two other houses if those are the only two that matter?
I couldn't answer that because, again, I've only read half of the 7. And I kind of just lost the time to be able to read when we were still living at the Blaisdell.
Yeah.
So, it's been a while. It's been a long while. However, have you seen some of the other things Daniel Radcliffe's been in?
No.
Oh. Apparently he was... Yeah, apparently last year...
I know he was naked on stage.
Yeah, in Equus. Equus?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think last year he did one called Swiss Army Man where he plays a corpse.
Cool.
And, like, helps get this guy home. And, he's done some really strange, amazing things. There's one called Horns.
Well, you said that Ron Weasley owns an ice cream truck and gives away ice cream because he's set for life.
Yeah. It's like,
and
what do you want to do? I wanted to buy an ice cream truck.
But it's cool,
mm-hmm.
and I think, and he's made statements about how he's had to do things so radically different from Harry Potter
mm-hmm.
in order to be seen as separate.
Yeah. Like, I need to be in a lot of really weird indie things.
And I think he made really good life choices.
I mean, aside from, like, the being a semi-functional alcoholic near the end of these movies.
Right.
It's like, I have a problem, and I need to address that.
Yeah. But you see other child actors like Macaulay Culkin, and...
I was gonna go with Drew Barrymore.
That works, too.
Who just totally shit the bed.
Yeah. Or Lindsay Lohan, or the Disney actors and actresses.
The victims of the Disney machine.
Pretty much. The choices he made as far as roles were smart choices. Versus, I'll take anything that makes me look like a slut.
Yeah.
So people can realize that I'm a woman and not Hannah Montana. Or whatever the hell Lizzie Lohan was in.
I don't remember what Lindsay... I think was she in Lizzie? No, Hilary Duff was in Lizzie McGuire.
Yes.
Okay, so... after the Harry Potter movies,
mm-hmm.
he was in The Woman in Black, haven't seen, an episode of Robot Chicken, What If, Kill Your Darlings, and Horns in 2013. Horns was amazing. Which is like, well, it's a rated R fantasy horror from 2013.
Okay.
Where when you meet him, he is smoking, swearing, and urinating outside. It's like, all right, hey, remember Harry Potter? This is what I'm doing today. I am not being Harry Potter. And also, it was a really cool movie.
Well, that's good.
I would recommend people see it. I mean, it'll be like 5 years before we can do it for the show. So
mm-hmm.
I'll just make you watch that soon enough without a mic.
And then I'll promptly forget it and then watch it again when it's 10 years old.
Yeah, sure.
Because I'm really good at that.
And I think we should also talk about Emma Watson. Because she's kind of a hero.
She's such a smart ass.
In this movie?
She's such a...
Oh yeah, fucking good student Hermione. Jesus Christ.
Not the good student part, but just the arrogant, you boys are silly.
You're breaking the rules!
I know you're going to be shocked by this, but I saw a lot of me in that.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, oh my god, she's such a snot. Oh my god, I was such a snot.
I mean, probably. I didn't know you when you were a kid.
I'm a snot now. I was a snot then.
Okay. But guys, the rules!
If you're gonna break the rules, at least break them right.
Yeah, that sounds like you.
Yeah. Balls to the wall or nothing, guys.
Mm-hmm. Well, and she's been doing a lot of awesome humanitarian stuff that I think we would be remiss to gloss over.
She has also made good life choices. But then again, ice cream trucks are also good life choices.
Yeah. Who wouldn't like an ice cream truck?
They turned out to be good people.
Mm-hmm.
After having their entire adolescence making movies about the same characters.
Yeah.
So, their entire adolescence.
Mm-hmm.
So does the guy from, How to Get Away with Murder, is he in more movies?
Probably.
He had like one line.
Yeah, well,
So therefore it passes the diversity test? I didn't see any Asian...
I think there is an Asian student who shows up in a future movie.
Okay.
But I think that's because there's the Tri-Wizard tournament going on in Goblet of Fire where they get all of the schools together to compete in
all the wizard schools?
Yeah, in their like Wizard Olympics or what have you.
Huh.
So you get to meet some like Asian,
not white.
Yeah, some Asian wizards.
Cool.
I forget which specific country from.
Okay.
Like, maybe it's China. Again, don't remember. This was 12 years ago.
And you were hate watching it.
I was hate watching it at midnight. We'd been at the theater since 4 p.m.
In line?
Yes.
Ugh.
There wasn't anyone in line behind us until 10. So, like, what are we doing? Can I just go watch another movie and then come back and enjoy it? Like, no. Like, why? Can we get pizza? No. You're killing me here.
It's a bad experience.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you know, enjoy your fandom, but don't try to force other people to enjoy your fandom.
Welcome to my life.
I don't know what you're talking about. How could you not have read Hitchhiker's Guide? Just kidding.
But that's exactly how I feel when I tell people that I have... Honestly, I get close to the same response
From
people about the not reading the Harry Potter books as I do about not having children. In that,
you'll change your mind.
Yeah, just
try it once.
Yeah.
No,
I don't.
No, because then I'm saddled with one forever.
Yes. And I just, that's not something I need.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't know what you're missing. Like, you're right. I don't.
Nor do I care.
It's like, why don't you tell me what I'm missing? Like, oh, that doesn't sound appealing.
No.
I don't need that.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
From the outside, I can see the appeal. Mm-hmm. And I understand that people find things in this. I
was a little bit excited when, at the beginning, when they were at the zoo for Dursley's birthday.
Yeah.
It is like, okay, the glass disappears, and then the snake says things like, "Eee!" Because no one else could understand the snake said thanks. Because spoilers.
Am more curious about Harry's home life than I am about the wizardry crap.
I think...
And how that progresses. Like, if I could just see those scenes as the years go by, That would be more of an interesting movie to me.
Just read the first 3 chapters out of every book.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it's... From what I gather, and maybe you can speak to this further than I can, because you've experienced part of the last book, and I haven't.
I don't remember.
Exactly. From what I gather, like, his cousin's family are just complete pricks to him, like, up until just about the end, where Dudley's like, oh, I'm sorry that we were jerks. Can you forgive me? Like, go fuck yourself. I don't care.
It's not Dudley's fault, though. Mm-hmm. Because his parents are awful.
It's true.
And they obviously raised him in the, you're a special snowflake and you're allowed to shit on this person.
You're allowed to shit on the weirdo.
Yeah.
Don't shit on the weirdo.
Yeah. So, and they raised him to be the spoiled, I only got 36 presents when last year I got 37.
Oh, well, we'll go out and get 2 more.
And I've met parents like that.
I've met kids like that.
Yeah. Because of parents like that.
Oh, that's awful.
And, so that's... Yeah. I can see a kid coming around. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, I would be shocked if the parents...
Yeah, they don't suddenly open their eyes like, I've been a total piece of shit to this guy.
Yeah, no.
I'm gonna, start making changes, and they'll forgive me. Like, they're not obligated to forgive you right away.
Ever?
They're not obligated to forgive you ever.
Yep. That's how life works.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, and another thing that I've seen people discuss was kind of the end of the books, and like, oh, these 2 characters shouldn't have got together. It should have been these 2. It doesn't... It's a book.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll have a stronger opinion on that if or when I finish the series. Either film or book.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. I'd watch them, like I said, once.
You'd watch all 8 of them once?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd rewatch that one because...
You've seen
context.
It. Yeah.
I would say I would watch it again if given context. Mm-hmm. And only to finish it out, to finish the context.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, does it pass the Bechdel? Does Hermione talk to anybody else? Did she talk to what's-her-name from...
McGonagall?
Downton Abbey?
I am not certain. Let me look that up right now. I'm kind of on the fence about it passing diversity.
Yeah.
Because, sure, we had... what was his name?
What's his name from How to Get Away with Murder?
Alfred Enoch from How to Get Away with Murder.
Yeah.
But, you had the one guy, and I don't remember him having any lines.
He said something.
Okay.
Because he spoke with a British accent, and he doesn't in the show.
Well, that's because he's British.
I know, and he doesn't in the show, and so I took notice when he spoke.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Alright, I must have not noticed.
Yeah. Because I'm used to hearing him without an accent.
Is accente?
Is accente. Does it pass the Bechdel?
I'm trying to find out. Sorted by title. Come on.
It'd be in the H's.
Yeah, I know.
So they're ha.
It's not like this one has a search on it. Which fucking would have made this thing worthwhile.
Yes.
Come on.
You just ask the internet.
Yeah, I could, I suppose. Just keep boot leathering, honey.
I got nothing. I was tired. How many drinks were there?
I counted 9, if you want to go through them. Because we drink from Maggie Smith, was the first one.
She's the one from Downton Abbey.
Yes, as Professor McGonagall.
Vern Troyer, who even in facial prosthetics...
It's like, oh yeah, that's Vern Troyer.
You can totally tell it's him. John Hurt, Alan Rickman, John Cleese, who I enjoyed... Who's Zoe 101?
Oh, Hermione Granger explains to McGonagall that she went to kill the troll.
Oh, yes.
So, it passes.
Okay.
I mean, I wish there were more of it, but... And it looks like, according to this... I don't know if these are the books or the movies.
Did you put a belt in the dryer?
Might have.
Okay.
It says all but one of the movies fail.
And that's the only one that doesn't fail?
Well, and then there's comments.
Oh.
Philosopher's Stone passes. Chamber of Secrets passes. Prisoner of Azkaban passes. Goblet of Fire fails. Order of Phoenix pass. Half-Blood Prince fail. And the last two pass and pass.
Well, that's because Harry has a girlfriend who's not Hermione.
Yeah, it's Ginny Weasley.
Right.
Because, you know, what totally makes sense is dating your best friend's sibling.
Gross.
I don't know. I've never dated my best friend's sibling.
Gross.
So, are you having trouble reading the rest of my handwriting?
Yes.
Where did we get to? Over on Troyer. John Hurt was the wand salesman.
Yeah.
Alan Rickman as...
Snape. That's what I said.
John Cleese is nearly headless Nick. Zoe Wanamaker was Cassandra on Doctor Who.
Yes! You had to look hard for that one. I'm like, I know we know that. I know we know that person.
I know that voice. We do know that voice. That was, and she was the...
She was in Fable?
Yeah, she played Teresa in Fables 2 and 3.
That's your video game,
My
right?
video games. And in this one, she was the flight teacher? The broom teacher. Quidditch?
Yes.
Quidditch.
Well, basically the gym teacher.
Yes. Warwick Davis, we couldn't drink for when he was the goblin at Gringotts, because that was on the cover.
Right.
But when he played a different character, we could.
Okay.
Alfred Enoch is...
How to Get Away with Murder.
How to Get Away with Murder. And David Bradley, the groundskeeper,
Yes.
was in a bunch of things.
Okay, so that's 9.
Yeah. So it was 9. 9 drinks.
9 drinks pretty much without looking at the cast list.
Yeah. It's like, I know that guy. Where is he?
Yeah.
Glug, glug, glug.
Yep.
So yeah, we agree that it passes the Bechdel.
Mm-hmm. Would you watch it again?
Probably. I think this is one of those where you read the book and then you watch the movie and kind of say,
I could see...
oh, they missed this part.
I can see somebody hosting a Harry Potter watching festival. Maggie! And you going, yes, and me going, I'll stay home and sleep.
I think I would say, are there riff tracks?
Probably.
I think the riff tracks would improve these movies.
I'd be willing to watch
They're good.
I'd be willing to watch it a second time if there were riff tracks.